VCT's first international tournament of the year is less than a week away. So in this video, we'll talk about the teams who qualified for Masters Madrid and the exciting storylines heading into the competition. So in this video, we'll talk about the teams who qualified for Masters Madrid. The word that you will constantly hear is new. It will be paired with certain teams' first appearance on the international stage, Valorant's broadened meta, and Riot Games' first try at a different format at the Tier 1 stage in Valorant's Esports. One of the most shocking things is that the last year's past international winners in Fnatic and Evil Geniuses will not be at this event. Fnatic got knocked out by Young Rising Stars, while Evil Geniuses' team split. However, not a single one of their members were able to make it to Madrid. But it doesn't stop there. If we look at each global tournament's top 4 teams in 2023, only Loud and PaperX are here. If that doesn't scream a new era for Valorant's championship tour, then I have more surprising facts for you. Each region's kickoff tournament that led us into Masters Madrid had Raze as the most picked duelists. Last year, Jett never failed below 50%. This is due to the map pull as well as the nerfs given to her after Champs 2023. One region has embraced this the most, in EMEA. The Korean duelist only has a 12% pick rate, which is lower than Yoru's. This region was known for its strict, systematic, and at times robotic approach to Valorant. But now it's been using one of the most free-flowing and creative agents in this game. Now I have to be honest with you, these stats don't 100% reflect what each team is doing, but rather what the winning strategies are. This is because the more games a team is playing, the more influence they have on it, which might explain why Phoenix has such a high pick rate in Americas due to Loud. Or for example, we can look at Ascent. 4 EMEA teams played Jett, but only Karmine Corp opted for Raze instead. So it's no shocker that both them and Team Heretics, who will be representing EMEA, have been using Yoru quite a lot too, which might explain the high pick rate. Both of these team similarities continue, where their core is very young. The average age of Team Heretics' kickoff roster was 21, with 3 of them being under 20 years old. Karmine Corp's average age is 20. And speaking of those teams, Heretics was able to blast through the group stages of EMEA's kickoffs by not dropping a single map. It was here where the brotherly duo of Boo and Miniboo had the best ratings in the world at the time. Boo's rating has dropped a bit after that, but that was expected since he was the IGL for this core. Former Fortnite pro Benji Fishy and Boo were the only members Team Heretics kept. Benji Fishy came during LCQ last year and put up good numbers and continues to contribute in his own ways. Rians is a young Turkish talent who has a lot of potential, but his stats have been a roller coaster of ups and downs during kickoffs. Part of this is due to him having to play from home with visa issues. The real impressive aspect of this team is that they're doing all of this with a stand-in whose name is Patitek. This is because their other Turkish talent, Woot, is only 17 years old but turns 18 during the tournament. Patitek has confirmed that he will be playing at Masters Madrid, but I'm not too sure if Woot will. On the flip side, Karmine Corp has another former Fortnite pro in Martin who has come up big for this team. He is the primary duelist, which speaks volumes since the majority of the players were once duelist mains themselves. Shin is the only member who was on this team last year and is currently playing Smokes and dabbling on Sage, while Narrate has been cooking on the initiator role. Looking at his stats, you would think he was playing them as a duelist, which he might as well be. He's one of the few players who has selected Gecko, so get ready to cheer for him and Wingman at this event. Magnum is this team's IGL, who picks up the Sentinel and Initiator duties from time to time. He's been juggling all these hats pretty well. Tamazine was once seen as Aspas' replacement from Loud fans, and you can't blame them. Throughout Ascension, he had crazy stats, which were the highest among the world as duelists. He, like many on this team, is sacrificing his main role to help them by playing controller. You can tell this team has been well drilled by the former Gambit coach. He's proving that there is such a thing as a coach diff in Valorant. Both of these teams' strength is that they have taken this new meta the best by trying out new comps as well as tactics, which might explain how they were able to knock off the likes of Na'Vi and Fnatic, both teams once seen as 1 and 2 in EMEA. Them just being at Madrid definitely is signaling a new era. Pacific also has some new faces to show the world. Let's start off with Gen G. They went through Pacific's trials by beating the best competitions here. The only other top team that haven't faced in kickoff is T1. Regardless, they proved that they're not only the best Korean team, but the best group of players in Pacific. Texture is looking like one of the world's best duelists and is having an amazing redemption arc since he struggled on global esports last year. To be fair, they had him on Sentinel characters, but as this team's primary Raze and Jett, he's been a force to be reckoned with. Gen G has completely revamped their roster too. Only Meteor has stayed on this team since last year. He is their Sentinel specialist. Munchkin is coming from T1 and is currently their flex, playing Viper and KO. Their main controller is Charon, who has been lighting it up recently. And this leaves us with Lakia as Genji's pure initiator, where kills have been an afterthought for him since he's been tasked with setting up the team for success. Till proven otherwise, Genji is Pacific's best. They had a similar run as Sentinels where they lost to the region's previous best team, but came back in the grand finals to beat them. They rightfully earned their crown as Pacific's kings. You can tell their strength is positioning themselves well enough to get these streaky frags. And throughout kickoffs, the more time that they played together, the better they got. Paper X on the other hand looked to be weaker since Jing is no longer on this team and is replaced by Monette due to military services. There may be some cause for concern, but the team also struggled with Jing when he first came on too. Growing pains were expected when asking someone to fill a role as big as Jing's. Looking at his gameplay, you can tell Monette can still entry onto site and give his team space. Time may be all that is needed for them to get things clicking. Luckily, Paper X still has a number of flexible players who can make any team comps look like a work of art. Something and Forsaken have been playing the duelist roles as well as initiators. The Vi and Mindfreak are not to be slept on either. This team strength has always been their unique team comps, which makes it hard to game plan against them, because you don't know what they will do or throw at you, like this 3 duelist comp on Split, where they have yet to lose with on that map. The question with the Pacific region is, can they lift the region's first global trophy before the likes of China, who have brought back familiar faces in Edward Gaming and Fun Plus Phoenix. This will be their first international tournament after the orgs made partnership in China, and somehow King looks like he keeps getting better. But Valorant is a team-based game, and EDG has proven to still be a deep team with Nobody, Chichu, Haodong, and Smoggy. They have big Dark Horse vibes coming into this event. Fun Plus Phoenix on the other hand has kept their fragging initiator A Yang as well as Lysor and Berlin. They brought in OCE's finest Autumn as the team's duelist to play Raze, Jet, Phoenix, and Yoru, as well as Life, who is another duelist that also plays Yoru on top of Reyna, Jet, and Chamber. This was one of the deeper teams in China, which explains how they were able to make it out of their kickoff event. FPX is one of the few teams in VCT that hasn't touched Sky on any map either. Just a testament to the changing meta, but rather they've been jumping on the Gecko train. I know this section is pretty short compared to the other ones, but I made another video talking more about China if you want to know more about their regional kickoff tournament. Feel free to check it out. This leaves us with the Americas. This offseason, Loud was on the brink of losing both Sadak and Aspas. But lucky for them, they kept their IGL, which turned out to be a wise choice. We can tell that this Brazilian team had a good amount of time to cook up some super secret spicy tactics for us, one of which was single-handedly carrying Phoenix's pick rate with these comps. A comp that has 7 flashes. Coming into 2024, I've seen some videos talking about how flashers aren't as important as people may have thought in VCT, but I guess Sadak took that personally and said hold my beer. Out of all the teams in VCT, they've ran the Sentinel class the least, and probably will in Madrid too. KJ has been the only agent in this class that's seen play for them, and it was on Icebox. The only change that they made in the offseason though was bringing in QCK as the team's duelist. He has had some ups and downs, but the great thing about Loud is that from top to bottom, they have players who can shoot back. Their strength reminds me of Paper X, where their players can frag on multiple different agents and make team comps like these that seem flawed look like masterpieces. With Fnatic not here, Loud has a chance to be truly known as Valorant's first dynasty. Since their very inception, they've been known as winners with just a couple of hiccups here and there. It's still impressive for a team to go through multiple meta changes and still be considered dominant. And as an organization, Sentinels know how hard that can be to achieve. This would be their opportunity to continue their redemption arc. From being eliminated in LCQ last year to being seen as the favorites to win Madrid is a crazy storyline. A story that both Karmine Corp and Heretics can relate to. However, Sen without a doubt have had the hardest road among all teams in the world. From getting out of the group of death in the Americas kickoff bracket to facing a stacked NRG team to finally beating Loud, who have been smoking all others in this competition. They have honestly earned their spot in Madrid and then some. This is a pretty deep team too, with most of the focus being on Tens and Zekin. Both these players have been putting up monster stat lines, with Tens just looking better and better on Omen as he plays. Sassy is proving to us that he still has world-class skills as an initiator, while John QT is absolutely dropping bodies as an IGL. Then we have the world's #1 salesman in Zelsis, who brings in huge value for Sentinels bundles, but also huge moments in the form of clutches.
Brings it down to 2.
He can get this fight now.
There's a decent amount of time as well. Check this out.
Trent hears the footsteps. He knows Zelsis is coming. Is Zelsis ready for this? Does he have any idea Trent's just on the other side? How has he done that? Zelsis! Now down to the 1v1, but he's getting flanked. Is he aware? Knife up! Zelsis! It's unbelievable!
A deep team is one of the requirements to win international events, and Sentinels definitely have this check. One of the great things about this event is that it will be Riot's first time doing a Swiss stage for Valorant. This could be a fun opportunity to witness live draws as well as facilitate international rivalries, so we can see early on which region is the worst and the best. Overall, each team has something exciting to root for and can be won by almost anybody. Let me know down below who you're rooting for and who you think will win Masters Madrid. Till next time, stay safe, and I'll be yapping in the next one.